Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Tweedy. They're dropping a balance patch for Mortal Kombat 1 tomorrow, June 27th at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, so 11 a.m. Eastern. So this is actually my last chance to do this video. So Sonicfox posted a post-Final Kombat tier list, so let's go ahead and do the review. So let's look at it. So Sonic has S plus tier, S tier, A tier, B tier. Only 2 characters in S plus, Johnny and Peacemaker. Which, I could have guessed that Sonic thought that. Obviously, everyone thinks that right now, pretty much. Like, Final Kombat was the Johnny and Peacemaker show. They're clearly the top 2 characters. So yeah, that makes sense. We don't really need to go over that. So yeah, we got Sindel in 3rd place at number 3. Now, Sindel, Sonic is one of the best Sindel, so Sonic does know Sindel in and out. And yeah, I would agree that she's up there, at least top 5. She's got insane neutral, good frame data, really good buttons. She doesn't really lose the projectile war to anyone besides Peacemaker. And also, like, her offense, like, just like if she gets like a turn isn't like the greatest, right? Like, it's basically like strike throw. But if she gets one opening, her knockdown offense with like low hat into like float jump in or like with Cyrax net is insane. It's like some of the best mix in the game, some of the best offensive sequences in the game, and she gets good damage. So I understand. I feel like Sonic isn't very off there by putting Sindel at number 3. Now, Tanya at number 4. Now, here's something y'all need to understand with Tanya and Kenshi. Y'all might be like, oh, Tanya and Kenshi weren't really picked in Final Kombat. How are they top 5? But you got to understand, the way tournaments work, it's not always going to be like, okay, so Johnny and Peacemaker are top 2, so they're the most represented. Then we see some Sindel, then Tanya, then Kenshi. The way tournaments work is, if players are tier whoring, why would they go with number 4 and number 5 who are a step below top 2 when they could just go top 2, you know what I mean? That's why we saw like all Johnny and Peacemaker in top 8. So like, people might want to use that to downplay Tanya and Kenshi and act like they're not up there, but they are. So yeah, I agree with Sonic putting Tanya at number 4. Her armor move is just so broke. It's 12 frames, really fast, multi-hitting. You can make it +1 on block with Goro. You can make it launch with Goro. You can do pokes into it. And besides that, her buttons are very good. She's got a lot of no-hurt box normals. Her projectile game, it's okay. Not the best, but she does have decent ways to get in. Her, like, Halo move gives her better movement speed, a teleport to continue pressure. So yeah, her damage is one thing that's not the greatest, but her conversion game with Goro and stuff is very good, so... And you can put other cameos to buff her damage, but having that launch and that plus frame off of her armor is a little too good to not go with, in my opinion. Alright, now Kenshi, obviously, Kenshi is the, hit you once and he wins against most of the cast. Pretty self-explanatory for why he's there, I agree. I think Kenshi is top 5. Now, Asura, I'm interested to see Sonic having Asura this high. I feel like she is a little overrated. But maybe not, because she does have such a well-rounded kit. So she doesn't really get mowed over by characters like some others might. Like, you have a character like Rain, for example. Rain has all the tools in the world to be top 5, top tier as fuck. But he gets mauled by Peacemaker, like, bad. You know what I mean? And when you lose that bad to maybe the most played character right now, besides maybe Johnny, it drops you a bit, you know what I mean? Whereas Asura, her tools are so well-rounded, where it's like she might lose slightly to Johnny, might lose slightly to some other characters, but she doesn't really get ran over or mauled. And she has such good tools with her buttons. She has maybe the best buttons in the whole game. Her damage is really good. Good mind games. So yeah, I would say the only thing is, like, her mix is pretty reactable, and she doesn't really have like throw combos with her like premier teams, and also like her offense isn't that oppressive, really, That's the only thing that I think holds her back from being like S+, even though she does have like the best buttons, best neutral, stuff like that. Now Katana at number 7, okay, I could see that. Katana, great zoning, great buttons, great conversion. Her conversion game is insane. Yeah, I could see that. Liu Kang. Now, Liu Kang, Mr. Throw combo. He's a character that makes you guess for combos more than a lot of the cast. Has a very good projectile game. He does get outshined in that area by a lot of characters. Or not a lot of characters, but by a couple, like Peacemaker. And it's really tough for him when he gets out zoned because his big weakness is his mid-range game, right? He's very good up close, very good from far away. So he kind of needs to make the other character come to him. He kind of needs a life lead and stuff, or to like avoid the Peacemaker matchup. So, I could see Lou being... Where does Sonic have him? Number 8? I could see that. But I would personally maybe put him a little lower right now in the current meta. But he has potential to go up with the balance patch of other characters get nerfed. Now, Melina with Chameleon is probably the best mix-up character in the whole game. She does have some clear weaknesses, like her pokes aren't the best. Her buttons in neutral, like, they're not the greatest, even though they are pretty disjointed. And her projectile game is not the greatest, but Chameleon can kind of make up for that. So yeah, I can see that. Melina top 10, I see that for sure. Now, Reiko, Sonic actually said Reiko's not in top 10, but I guess changed his mind. And I would agree. I think Reiko's top 10, you know, amazing buttons, amazing projectile launching, command grab. He's just... Other characters are dirtier. That's just all there is to it, really. He has the tools to be the best character in the game, but other characters are just dirtier. Pretty much just is what it is. Now, Rain, like I said, Rain has all the tools. Disjointed hurt boxes. Like, amazing mix-ups with, like, his striker throw combos with Janet. Combos go for 40%. So he has all the tools to be top tier. In, like, top 5, maybe even higher. But again, his matchups kind of hold him back. Like, he gets cooked bad by Peacemaker. He struggles against some other characters in this range. So yeah, I could see why Rain falls right outside of top 10 on Sonic's list. Now, General Shao. I actually like General Shao being placed this high because he has the best mix-ups, like, just in his base kit out of the whole cast. Everyone else, they need to add, like, a cameo. Like, Sindel's got to add a cameo. Lou's got to add a cameo. Rain's got to add a cameo. But, like, he has base mix-ups in his kit. You know what I'm saying? With his, like, forward 2 and back 3. Now, they are unsafe, but still, just having base mix-ups, and you can throw cameos on top to make them safer and stuff, or to make them, like, easier to convert. So just having those base mix-ups in your kit, very strong, right? And Stand 2 is one of the best buttons in the game. He gets very good damage. He has really good combos, or he has really good conversions. His neutral is not the greatest, but you can supplement that with, like, a Chameleon cameo. I feel like Chameleon in general just plugs a lot of holes for him, so while we're in the Chameleon meta, I could definitely see General Shao being where Sonic put him. Now, Kung Lao is basically like dive kick and armor man. And yeah, his armor move is probably the single best move in the game. You know, plus 12 on block launching armor. Besides that, like, his buttons are decent. Neutral's really bad, though. He relies on, like, his armor. He relies on landing his projectile to get in, stuff like that. But, I would say just that move alone, yeah, it probably puts him in, like, that top 15 range. Alright, now, Raiden. Raiden's still got good buttons, right? Like, plus, jab. Forward 4 is really dumb. Down 4 is really dumb. Stand 2 string's still pretty good, but... And he does have, like, back 2 for some mix. But overall, I feel like he's lower than Sonic put him. I don't know. Maybe not. I mean... He still has good buttons. Damage is okay. Conversions are okay. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like Sonic upplayed Raiden a little bit here. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. But yeah. Okay. Moving on to Baraka. This is... I would put Ermac higher than Baraka. I would put Raiden lower, though. And I would put, like, Lao lower. Maybe Shao lower. But yeah, I think Baraka's in that top 15 range. Still really good. Some of the best buttons in the game. Amazing pressure against most of the cast. His damage isn't the greatest, but he doesn't really need it. Chip damage can be really good, especially if they don't flawless block. You can mix up your sequences to mess up their flawless block as well. So I would agree with... I agree with the general placement of where Sonic put Baraka, but I would put, like, Ermac ahead of him and, like, Raiden behind him, stuff like that. But in general, that's about where I have him. So Ermac, he's got Ermac, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So he's actually got Ermac outside of top 15. I don't know if I agree with that. Ermac's got amazing buttons, amazing conversions, great cancel mind games, strike throw combos. Maybe his projectile game is trash, right? And you need Janet to kind of make him go ham. So maybe that's why Sonic has him like rate kind of low. You kind of have to play like that low stomp or teleport or just go in game. He doesn't really have like a solid game plan outside of when he's in that like sweep range where you can start using his disjointed normals and stuff, or like get in your grill and do strike throw with 1-2 or grab. So maybe that's why Sonic has him a bit lower. He is a little bit less solid than the other characters ahead of him. But overall, I do think Ermac is a bit higher. But I could see Sonic's logic here. Obviously, Sonic doesn't have a video explaining it, but I feel like that's probably Sonic's logic. All right, now Lee May. Yeah, Lee May is like, her buttons are like really bad, but she has really good projectiles, really good damage. Her jab string's actually not bad. Her down 4 is not bad. So it's not like her buttons are like unusable. And if you do land, they explode. So I could see this Lee May placement. I could see it. I would maybe put her a little bit lower myself, but yeah, I could see it. Now Omni-Man. I feel like Omni-Man's a little low here. I feel like his runaway game is pretty insane. Combos are insane. If you add low hat, he has crazy like hard to blockables, and like runaway game is extra crazy with low hat. If you add Movado, he gets that launching armor and like even better BMBs. I feel like his buttons are pretty good. He does have a lot of gaps. He doesn't really have like disjointed stuff like a lot of the characters above him. So honestly, like, I feel like this is a fair placement. I would put him above Lee May and Raiden, but I don't know if I would put him above anyone else that Sonic ranked him under. All right, now Reptile. I personally have Reptile as like one of the worst in the game. So yeah, I just outright disagree with Sonic there. I honestly would put Reptile quite a bit lower, but you know, Reptile, he does have some stuff, but I just feel like other characters have more stuff, I guess. All right, so Smoke, that's about where I would put Smoke, I think. Yeah, that's about where I would put Smoke. You know, good buttons, really good Punisher with his forward 1, really good damage. You can get some good setups with his invisibility. Yeah, so yeah, I agree with Sonic's placement. Other characters are just better. They have less gaps in their main stuff. Sub-Zero, that's about where I would put Sub-Zero as well. Shang, that's about where I would put Shang. Now, I wanted to get to Homelander, because Sonic put Homelander really low, but then made some tweets saying that he hadn't really explored Homelander, and then started exploring him, and now Sonic's like popping off saying Homelander's great and stuff. And I agree. When I first saw his tier list, I was like, wow, like, why does Sonic have Homelander this low? And, yeah, it's cool to see Sonic change his mind, because I agree. I think Homelander's quite a bit higher than this. I don't know exactly where I would put him. I would probably put him, like around this range up here is where I would put him. Yeah, he's amazing. Like, great buttons, great combos. Projectile game is decent. Not great, but it's decent. Yeah, I would put him up around that range. I wonder what kind of dirt Sonic will find, and if Sonic will start saying he's like top tier and stuff. We'll see. Scorpion, that's about where I would put Scorpion. Scorpion stand 2 is amazing. Combos are great. His runaway game is pretty good, but he doesn't really have much else going for him. Has a lot of gaps in like his main stuff. Gearus, yeah, y'all know how I feel about Gearus. Like, weakest neutral in the game, in my opinion. Yeah. Don't know about Gearus. Feel like he's kind of a Twitter character. So yeah, I agree. Really bad defensively. And that's the thing about Homelander. He's also really bad defensively. Bad down 1, bad armor. And I feel like that holds both of them back. But Homelander has a lot more other tools to compensate for that weakness that Gearus doesn't. Havoc, yeah. Havoc bottom 3. I feel like that's where most would put him. Extra health. Good sequences if you have a couple bars to spend. But he doesn't really have much else going for him, really. Now, Natara, I don't really know nothing about. Sonic actually has one of the best Nataras. So I'll just kind of defer to Sonic here and not really give my opinion. So yeah, Natara bottom 2, okay. Now, Quan bottom 1 is really interesting. I assume Sonic thinks Quan is bottom 1 because of really bad defense, right? 9 frame down 1. Armor move isn't the greatest, stuff like that. His strings are also weird, right? Like, they all have gaps. They're all like highs. The only mid option is like back 3 and like 4-2, but those are kind of shitty strings as well. He just overall, like, NRS like held him back in so many ways to kind of compensate, I guess, in their mind for him having like some broke zoning stuff and like that portal stuff. But yeah, it's just, it doesn't seem like enough to make him really good. I don't think I would put him bottom 1. I would put him probably like top of A on Sonic's list. But I see the logic for putting Quan really low. And I think as the game goes on, a character like Quan, as people get better against his offense, will only drop. You know what I mean? Like, so some people have Quan really high. I have him like a little under middle of the cast. I feel like as the game goes on, a character like that will only go lower because of his awful defense and buttons and strings. So I understand Sonic kind of looking at the big picture and assuming that that's where Quan would end up. But things will change tomorrow, right? Because this sounds like it's going to be a big balance patch. So looking forward to that. I will be streaming tomorrow when this patch drops and doing a video. Much love, y'all. Later.